Mr. How are you?
Yeah, nice to meet you.
All right, first question for Coach McGee. We'll start here with Jeremiah.
Hey Gary, Jeremiah Tasha with Tarls on this side. Can we get an update on Chris Colbert? Him as
Well, the best part about being an assistant coach is the policies are the head coach speaks about injuries. So I get to duck that question.
Right out of the gate.
Next question for Coach McGee.
Yeah, how's he supposed to do a practice today? What do you expect? I'm just kidding. Just kidding with that. And what do you like about the room? A lot of unproven guys, for the most part, that are getting an opportunity now. Other than Kobe Pace, who played a while ago, but has battled some injuries and stuff. What do you like about that room? How have you seen it kind of come along since camp started?
Well, they're developing, and what you say is correct. There's a lot of, most of them. I think we talked about it in training camp that maybe Jordan had 9 or 10 catches, and that was the most out of everyone in the room except Kobe. So we have a group that has never, really been out there and had the pressure on them. And that's a part of the process that we're going through now. Not just teaching them how to play and the plays and the techniques, but how to take care of your body week in and week out, and practice in and practice out, how to function and concentrate throughout the week because they're all are so young.
If I could ask a follow-up about Kobe, before his injury, he was a guy that did some playmaking. He made some big plays, he can go over the middle, he can do all kinds of things.
Yeah.
I know you weren't here then, I don't know how much you know about his process, but where is he in your eyes as far as being a guy that can maybe do some of the things he did before the injury?
Yeah, well, we trust him. He's doing a really good job in the practice field. He hadn't had the results on the field or the production on the field yet, but we trust that kid. He's tough. Football is very important to him. He's doing a really good job for us.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, Jeremiah Holloway with Inside Carolina. Nice to meet you. One of the questions that I had for you was the initial conversations you had with Bill Belichick about coming here to be the wide receivers coach. Just how did you first get connected with him, and then what were some of those conversations like? Coming on board and taking that role.
Well, I was fortunate. I went up to New England a few years ago and worked up there for about 3 weeks or so. I got to watch how he went about his business, how he ran his organization. And then when this opportunity came up, I just felt there was a really good opportunity for me to go learn, how to be a coach. I've been in it a long time, but I wanted to learn from Bill things that I've learned. He's taught me a lot since I've been here. He's a teacher. He's teaching us, not just me, but us every day on how to go about coaching the game from day in and day out, practice in, practice out. So really fortunate to be here and be able to learn from him.
Let's go to Noah.
Noah Weisskopf, Tar Heel 24/7. I'm curious, how have you seen Jordan Ship and his development sort of off the field as a leader and then on the field as a guy that Gio can really just depend on a game-to-game basis?
Yeah, well, he's a dependable guy. He's one of our, we rank our dependable guys. He's definitely one of them. He has, really strong hands. He can make contested catches. Football is really important to him. So he's doing a good job for us. He was voted captain of one of the captains of the team. So really fortunate to have him here.
Grant.
Hey, Coach Grant Sastro, Tar Heels on SI. What specific improvements are you looking for in the receiving corps going into the Richmond game? Because I know Richmond has a top 10 defense, but also has the top 10 passing defense at the SS level.
Yeah, well, we need to get another week better. Understanding, how games are played, how intense the games are played, how you have to focus and concentrate one snap at a time over and over. We need to be a week better than we were. We think from week 1 to week 2, we had more intensity in week 2, but we need to be, 7 days better when we get out there. We have a lot of respect for this program. They're going to run their defense. They know how to run it. They're really good at it, and they force you to take what they give. You can't just throw the ball down the field. They know what they're doing. They know how to match the routes. We have to concentrate and focus longer than we have and keep developing.
Brian.
Yeah, Brian Murphy, WRL. Kind of a two-part question. You talked about dependable players, guys you can depend on. How big is that group of guys at this point? Are you still trying to whittle it down to the number of receivers you're going to play, as you get later in the season? And then secondly, kind of related, Culver had the big catch down the field. Are you looking for explosive plays down the field, because it's hard to go 10 plays, 80 yards, 11 plays.
Yeah, that's correct. I think there's a stat that says if you create an explosive play within the drive, the percentages obviously go way up. So I think that's not just us. I think every offense is, searching for an explosive play at some point. And Chris is a fast kid, and he did a good job on that particular route. It seemed like he was just running a go route, but there was a lot of decisions he had to make based on coverage on what to do. And he did it fast and, got us off to a fast start.
The first part of my question, sorry to throw it all at you, but you talk about dependable players. How big is that group right now, and do you want to get it down to a smaller group as you move further in the season?
Well, we're trying to grow our dependable players instead of, wind it down. We want more dependable players, and I think that's what the practice session is for, to show us and the coaching staff and Mike upstairs that they can do what they're supposed to do on a consistent basis. They understand what to do and how to do it. So we're trying to make that list as big as we possibly can.
Adam?
Garrick Smith, Inside Carolina. Maybe sort of going off that, what would you say, you've had a long coaching career, you've been an offensive coordinator at a number of places. From maybe a collective standpoint, what would you pinpoint as some of the things that are holding this offense back from maybe reaching its potential just through 2 games? I know it's a small sample size.
Yeah, I think that, it's a lot of different guys coming together. And a lot of them are young. And they have to understand that, one penalty, one missed assignment, one drop ball can stop the drive. And understanding, how important every single snap of the game is. And it all starts in the practice field. When you get yourself to a point where you're practicing, you can execute, 10 or 12 plays in a row without anyone making a mistake or dropping the ball. That's when that carries on to the game. So that's what we're working on, just trying to put them together day by day, or snap by snap.
Should we say more?
Yeah, I guess just kind of following up on that. So obviously, like a lot of, like you said, you're kind of trying to do with putting a lot of young guys together, but also maybe not necessarily whittling down the rotation, just expanding that group. How do you balance that in the sense that, you want to kind of maybe solidify your rotation? I know Belichick had said, what about like a third of the way through the season, but also, I guess you're trying to expand. I guess my question is like, I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. Where are you at in terms of identifying like specific roles for guys, and is there a point in the season where you think that you will kind of have that rotation set?
Yeah, well, we're searching for that. We're about to go out here in about an hour and continue that. That's what the practice sessions are for. And we come back and we evaluate everything as a staff, all the drills, what they're doing on special teams, just which guys are committed to showing up and doing their job at a consistent basis. And we're still in that process. But we just need another game. We need to get out there and play another game, see how guys concentrate and focus, and see how guys can go from, playing the game on Saturday, and you have the 7 days to prepare for another game, then go play another game. Who can concentrate, who can execute the longest and keep doing it. So I think that's just what all coaches are looking for.
Yeah, I guess following that, you said you just need another game. I guess is there?
Well, I said that, but I should have said that.
Okay.
We need another practice today is what we really need.
Okay, is there an emphasis maybe to, I guess, identify more of like a solid kind of rotation in the wideouts room, say, going into like UCF and the rest of the season, or is there some sort of timeline on that?
No, we need to make sure that we got the rotation. We have the guys doing the things that they do best this Saturday against Richmond. We have not, considered what's going on with I really didn't realize we played UCF next week until you said it, that we just concentrate on beating the team in front of us and making sure every practice session we're getting ourselves in position to win the game we're playing that week.
Time for a few more. Let's go, Jeremiah here.
Hey, so it has only been 2 games so far, small sample size of course, but what is your personal assessment on the wide receiver's performance, some things you like, some things you don't like? What do you have to say about that?
Yeah. Like I said, they're young, and I think they're learning how hard you have to compete and how intense the games are. And it's not just like you can run out there, the crowd screaming, everything's early in the game and your intensity is up and your spirit's up, but you have to maintain that one possession at a time, one snap at a time. And I think they're working on it. They're concentrating on it. They understand that they're young, and they spend a lot of time. We spend a lot of time talking about, at this point in the game, what were you thinking? Or where was your mind here? And you have to stay concentrating on the small things because the coverages change, and you have to run your routes based on the coverage you're playing against. The blitzes happen. The guys playing man coverage or zone coverage or inside or outside leverage. You have to figure all of that out in a really fast period of time to play and execute a certain concept. So they're learning, they're growing. I think they're on the right track.
Yeah, youth obviously is one of the themes here with your room. Blocking is something that takes a while for some wide receivers in college to learn how to do. Where is your group as far as blocking, especially on the edge, and kind of how much do they have to grow in that area?
They made a huge step from week 1 to week 2. And we're just anticipating to continue that growth and development, and they're better than they were in game 3 than they were in game 2. So that's the process, that's where we're at.
We got time for one more between these.
No, I was just going to ask your experience working with Freddie Kitchens so far, obviously offensive coordinator. Have been here a couple of years. How is that working relationship, and just what's it been like collaborating with him on the offense?
It's been good. We spent a lot of time in the meeting room together. Everyone chipping in on what we're going to do, what the plan is. We're just continuing to move forward, trying to figure out how to put our kids in the best opportunity to do well and let each one of them do what they do best, which will ultimately give us a chance to win the game.
Perfect. Good stuff, Coach McGee. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
DeAndre Robinson.